Hi, Kevin Henry, the Group Editorial Director for UBM Advanstar's Dental Division, and I'm on a Google Hangout today with Josh Daab, who's the Vice President of Sales for Atlantic Precious Metal Refining. How are you today, Josh?
Doing terrific. How are you?
Hey, I'm good, man. Thanks for taking a few minutes here to talk.
No problem.
You know, one of the things that you and I were chatting about before we got on the air is just the amount of money that comes from an average the scrap in an average dental practice. And I was wondering, could you kind of tell our viewers what you were telling me before we went on the air?
Kevin, typically on an average year for a general dentist, they'll save between 8 to 10 ounces of scrap, which is failed crown and bridge out of the mouth. And for every ounce of dental scrap, the dentist should be getting back about $400. So that jar that typically ends up in the dental office as a collection jar should garner about $4,000 back to the dentist.
That's a pretty eye-popping number. I mean, I'm guessing a lot of dentists don't even realize that, right?
Well, that's absolutely true. Many dentists dispose of old crown and bridge without recovering any of the asset. Many times they'll sell it to somebody walking through the door who will take a scale, and I call it a magic show, where they actually separate out the different colors of metal and will pay the doctor cash. Typically, that will only garner the doctor about 20% of what it's actually worth. So we're trying to educate the dentists on what that asset is really valued at. And we have all the capabilities at Atlantic Precious Metal Refining to determine that in the exact process.
And I know through an ebook that we are offering that is titled 5 Ways Your Choice of Refining Company Could Be Costing You Money, we're trying to get that message out there not only to the dentists but the labs as well, right?
Oh, absolutely. Atlantic Precious Metal has been in business for 28 years. We process the lion's share of dental laboratory scrap in the United States, and as you know, Kevin, that most dental laboratories know exactly what they're buying, they know exactly what their scrap is worth, and they've entrusted Atlantic Precious Metal Refining to process that scrap material.
So what makes Atlantic a little different?
Atlantic Precious Metal Refining different from the other refiners and many other refiners or quote-unquote refining companies is that we are a full-scale refining company where we actually produce elemental palladium, platinum, gold, and silver within our plant. So we get the material up to its market value. That allows us to only charge 10% and a nominal $25 assay fee for each lot that comes in. If you don't process scrap in this way and get to elemental material, you're not able to pay 90%. And many of these companies advertise that they pay 90%, but it's quite impossible to do that if you don't actually produce the material up to its value on the market.
So Josh, again, we're talking about the free ebook, 5 Ways Your Choice of Refining Company Could Be Costing You Money. And I'm wondering, could you talk about just one of those ways, maybe you know, tease our readers a little bit here with what's in the ebook that they can download?
Well, one way of the 5, which you'll read later, one of the ways is our full documentation of everything that comes into our plant. We actually digitally photograph each part of the scrap lot, the solids, the sweeps, and the other scrap material. We weigh it, photograph it, completely document it, so it really is a safety valve for any laboratory sending in scrap, or actually a doctor's office also, if there happens to be some type of discrepancy. Many doctors will send in scrap, and they'll weigh it first, and there might be a difference in the way they measured the material. So if there's a difference in the way they measured it, or there's a discrepancy in our weight, we immediately call the facility that sent it in, just so we make sure everything is on the up and up and everybody understands exactly what we're processing.
Sounds good, Josh. And again, you can download this ebook through the link here in the trigger article, and certainly want to learn, you know, those other 4 ways of the 5 that Josh has talked about and Atlantic has sponsored through this ebook. So again, Josh, thank you so much for your time, man. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you, Kevin. Have a great day.
You too.